The Galactic Council chamber floated in the void between stars, a crystalline monument to 10,000 years of diplomatic peace. Ambassador Velthar of the Kryn Collective adjusted his ceremonial robes, his four eyes scanning the assembled representatives with practiced calm. Today's session was routine, a dispute over mining rights in the Outer Rim, nothing more. Humanity's representative, Ambassador Sarah Chen, sat quietly in her designated sphere, her small frame almost comical among the towering forms of elder species. The humans had joined the council only 5 cycles ago, a probationary membership granted more out of curiosity than respect. They were young, their technology primitive, their understanding of galactic politics laughably naive. Velthar had voted against their inclusion. Herbivores by nature, his people understood the dangers of predator species, even small ones. "The mining consortium of Helios 9 respectfully submits," began Speaker Thane, his translucent body pulsing with bioluminescent emphasis. The alarm shattered his words, not the gentle chime of a scheduling conflict or the melodious tone of an incoming transmission. This was the sound the council had not heard in 3,000 years. The scream of the emergency beacon, raw and primal, cutting through every translation matrix and neural interface like a blade. "Hostile incursion detected," the station's AI announced, its usually placid voice tight with something that might have been fear. "Krelzath warships breaching Sector 7. Time to weapons range 4 minutes. The chamber erupted into chaos. The Krelzath, pirates, slavers, a species that had rejected the council and every civilized norm generations ago. They struck from the dark spaces between hyperspace lanes, preying on the weak, vanishing before defense fleets could respond. "Impossible," Velthar breathed, his fur standing on end. "The council station has diplomatic immunity. They wouldn't dare. They're broadcasting demands," the AI interrupted. "Surrender all council members for ransom or be destroyed." 3 minutes, 40 seconds, panic spread like wildfire. The Ythrel delegation began their death prayers. The silicon-based makers started calculating survival probabilities, their crystalline bodies chiming discordant notes. Even Speaker Thane, composed for 2 centuries, seemed to deflate, his bioluminescence flickering. "We have no weapons," someone wailed. "The treaties forbid." "Request emergency military response," Velthar commanded, forcing authority into his voice. "All nearby fleets, maximum urgency." "Nearest council fleet is 47 minutes away," the AI responded. "No other allied vessels within range." 47 minutes. They had less than 4. That's when Sarah Chen stood. The movement was simple, unremarkable, a small human rising from her seat. But something in the gesture made Velthar's predator warning instinct scream. Every herbivore sense he possessed, honed over millions of years of evolution, suddenly focused on the human with laser intensity. "Ambassador Chen," Speaker Thane began, "now is not the time for—" "How many ships?" Her voice cut through the panic like ice, flat and emotionless. "So 7, the AI stammered. "Krelzath corvettes, heavily armed. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Sarah tapped her wrist communicator. "Chen to Terran escort vessel Prometheus. You are weapons free. I say again, weapons free." Velthar's blood ran cold. "Terran escort? Humans don't maintain military vessels near council space. The treaties are very specific about military vessels," Sarah interrupted. And for the first time, Velthar saw her smile. It was not a pleasant expression. "They say nothing about survey ships." On the view screen, something decloaked. The vessel was ugly by galactic standards. Brutal, angular, covered in sensor arrays and what Velthar had assumed were scientific instruments. He'd seen it before. Lurking at the edge of council space, had read the reports describing it as a research platform studying stellar phenomena. He'd been wrong. So very catastrophically wrong. "Prometheus actual," a voice crackled over the comm, hard and professional. 7 targets confirmed. Engaging. The survey ship moved like nothing Velthar had ever seen. Not with the grace of Ythrel cruisers or the calculated precision of maker constructs. It moved like a predator, all economy and lethal purpose, closing distance with the Krelzath formation at impossible speed. "They're insane," someone whispered. 7-1. The first Krelzath corvette simply ceased to exist. One moment it was there, weapons charging, hull bristling with threat. The next it was an expanding cloud of superheated plasma. No warning shot, no hail, no negotiation. The human ship had evaluated, decided, and acted in the space between heartbeats. The second corvette managed to fire. Its plasma torpedoes capable of cracking station shields struck the Prometheus dead center. The human ship didn't even slow down. Shields holding at 92%, the Prometheus reported, almost bored. Returning fire. 2 more corvettes died. Then a fourth, this one trying desperately to flee, cut apart by weapons that tracked with predatory patience. The human ship didn't just shoot. It hunted, anticipating every evasive maneuver, every desperate turn, staying inside the Krellzath formation like a shark among fish. Defensive fire is ineffective. The Krellzath commander's panicked voice burst through the comm channels, broadcasting to anyone who would listen. Weapons have no effect. Retreat, retreat. The 3 surviving corvettes broke formation, their legendary courage evaporating like morning dew. They scattered, engines screaming, pushing past safety limits in their terror. The Prometheus destroyed 1 more before letting the others flee into hyperspace. Silence fell over the council chamber like a shroud. Sarah Chen sat back down, smoothing her jacket with hands that didn't shake at all. The Prometheus will maintain defensive position until council security arrives. I apologize for the disruption, Speaker Thane. Please, continue with the mining consortium presentation. Velthar stared at this small creature from a young species, and finally understood the mistake the council had made. They'd seen humanity's size, their primitive origins, their herbivorous allies, and assumed weakness. But humans weren't herbivores. They weren't even normal predators. Humans were persistence hunters, pack predators from a world so hostile that reaching the stars had been the easy part. They'd smiled and played nice and followed the rules because that served their purpose. But underneath the diplomatic facade, behind the carefully maintained image of naive newcomers, they'd been watching, learning, preparing. And when the moment came, they'd struck with a predator's instinct, swift, overwhelming, without hesitation or mercy. Ambassador Chen, Velthar heard himself say, his voice hoarse. Your survey ship carries weapons that violate at least 17 council treaties. Sarah met his gaze, and her smile never wavered. Survey vessels need to defend themselves against spatial hazards, Ambassador. Asteroids, radiation storms, hostile wildlife. She paused. Pirates. That wasn't defense, Velthar whispered. That was a massacre. Yes, Sarah agreed simply, it was. And now 7 fewer pirates threatened peaceful vessels in council space. She leaned forward slightly. You're welcome. In the following cycles, the council would debate humanity's actions endlessly. Treaties would be rewritten, security protocols revised, but everyone present in that chamber remembered the same truth. They'd invited a predator to sit at the table of herbivores, and the predator had just reminded them why that table had remained peaceful for so long, not because violence was impossible, but because no one had dared to use it. Until the day someone threatened humanity's pack. That day, the council learned what every prey species knows instinctively, and every predator remembers. It's not the size of the hunter that matters. It's the hunger.